welcome to this next video lecture. In this current video lecture we are going to study the origin of basic human rights. Okay, in previous videos we have studied the features of human rights. We have studied the state, justice, these concepts: state, justice, individuality, the process of individualization, socialization, okay, and human values. These contents we have already studied in previous video lectures. So today we are going to study the origin of human rights. What is the origin of human rights? As far as the syllabus is concerned, we must know what is the origination or origin of human rights, from where it was emerged, from where this concept of human rights is emerged. We must know, and by knowing this we may come on the track of studying the whole curriculum or syllabus which is prescribed for us. But as I said before, we should not think about regarding only syllabus completion. We should know the core element of this subject or this syllabus. Means we must know what is the human rights and what is its importance in our day-to-day life, and as a student how we can be a good human beings with following with human rights. Okay, so the origin of human rights is that the evolution means origin the evolutions of human rights have taken place over centuries. Means since so many centuries back, we this concept of origin, the concept of human rights was evolved. So we know that man had to struggle hard in order to achieve the ultimate goal, that is living with dignity. This is the ultimate goal of your all human being. So the ultimate goal is living with dignity, and which still has to be realized in various societies. Right now in various societies we are following this goal, that is living with society as a human being, as a student, as a teacher, as a other responsibilities we are following. So we have those designations. So by keeping those designation in our mind, or keeping those posts in our mind, the ultimate goal as a human being is that living with dignity. Okay, and for living with dignity man had to struggle in previous years, in ancient years. So India itself is an example for that, where women, children, dalits, bonded laborers, etc., is trying hard to be a part of mainstream. Means they struggling hard to get that dignity in their day-to-day life. So in spite of all these things, the world recognized the UN Charter of 1945, which states that human rights are inalienable aspect of mankind. As it is already explained in previous videos, that human rights are inalienable, means we cannot separate these rights from human being to other things. Okay, we cannot fetch it again. We cannot deprive any person, or we cannot detach any person from his own basic human rights. That's why it is said human rights are inalienable, and it is an aspect of mankind which is stated by United Nations Charter of 1945. So again we can say, as the origin of human rights is that human rights may be traced to the theory of natural rights, which is derived from the concept of natural law, as these two concepts are propounded by ancient Greek Stoic philosophers and further developed by Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. Both the philosophers have written two books. We may explain afterwards. We may get introduced of those two books. Okay, which is written by Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. Okay, so it has again influence over the origin of human rights. The American and French Revolution gave further impetus to the struggle of human rights. Okay, the evaluation and development of human rights in the international context can be traced to the Magna Carta and the English Bill of Rights, followed by the French Revolution and the American Bill of Rights. So such kind of movements, such kind of activities, such kind of struggles, such kind of conflicts, such kind of wars or such kind of treaties were happening uh, in the uh, in the history that gave impetus to the origin of basic human rights. Again, the 20th century witnessed the crystallization of the philosophy of human rights when the United Nations adopted the UN Charter in 1945 and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, that is UDHR, and the International Covenants on Human Rights with further emphasis to protection of rights of women, abolition of slavery, racial discrimination, civil and political rights, economic, social, and cultural rights, and most importantly, the rights of children. So these bodies, these international bodies, that is UN Charter, then UDHR, then international covenants, these protected the rights of slaves. Again, they protect the rights of children also. Again, so in India, the drafters of constitution took care to incorporate human rights for its own citizens as well as for the aliens. Okay, so draft in our Indian constitution, according to this the provisions which are made in the international covenants of human rights in UDHR, UN charter, this all information, this all provision is done in the Indian constitution, which is in line with the provisions which is made or movements which are happen in the past. Okay, which take care of the human rights of every citizen in our country. So the previously we studied here natural rights theory. Okay, natural rights theory of natural rights. Now we may have that detailed reference here. What is that natural rights theory is? So though the expression human rights had its origin in international law, which is not older than the World War II, the concept of an individual having certain basic inalienable rights as against a sovereign state had its origin in the doctrines of natural law and natural rights. So the philosophies and doctrines of these philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Rousseau, hmm, these are the thinkers or proponents of natural rights theory. So their duration or period of these thinkers are: Thomas Hobbes belongs to 1588 to 1679. John Locke is belong to 1632 to 1704, and Jean Jacques Rousseau belong to 1712 and 1778. Are these three main thinkers who developed the natural rights theory. Okay, so what are their opinions? Let us see here. Thomas Hobbes was the first champion of the theory of natural rights. Okay, and in his celebrated book Leviathan, he advocated that no individual could ever be deprived of the right to life which he enjoyed in the state of nature. Means he said that Thomas Hobbes stated that not a single individual could ever be deprived of the right to life. Means every person has a natural right to live his own life in his own way. Okay, and he can enjoy that life in his own way by the state of nature. Okay, again he asserted that all human beings are equal without any consideration. Okay, it means that all human beings we have taken who has taken birth on this earth are equal by birth, and we have no right to discriminate them by observing their caste, religion, ethnicity, etc. So Thomas Hobbes is the first champion of the theory of natural rights. Again, John Locke developed the idea further in his book Two Treaties Government. He argued that every human being has a natural right to life. Now this thing is common here in the both the in the doctrines of both the philosophers. They have natural right to life. Okay. Again here Thomas Hobbes also says the same thing. He says that no individual could ever be deprived of the right to life. So these are the common things we can see, or we can observe in the doctrines of both the philosophers. Okay, and again he states that personal liberty and property, and that no governmental authority has power to deprive individuals of these rights, because they had enjoyed them even before the creation of the civil and political society. So again he states that no any government authority has the right to fetch that right of property, hmm, or right to life and personal liberty from that particular human being. Okay, and it is mentioned in detail in the book True Treaties Government. Again, Rousseau Rousseau is also regarded as the greatest master of natural law school. In his celebrated book The Social Contract, the name of book is that The Social Contract, in which he states that all men are born free, but everywhere they are in chains. It means that when he when he took birth on the earth, from that moment he is born, he is free. Means we cannot paste any symbol on his forehead that he is belong to this category, he is belong to that religion, and so on. But afterwards, whenever he developed, the person developed his personality, he developed his proceedings in society. There was influence of society on his development of the human being, and everywhere there are some chains, means chains of relations or chains of any other things, means he is trapped, he is binded in those chains, but whatever it is, he is born free. Okay, so Rousseau proclaimed that men are bestowed with inalienable rights of liberty, equality, and fraternity. These are the three human beings are very much important here, which is reflected in every constitution. Okay, liberty, equality, and fraternity, and even these three things are three values are also reflected in our Indian constitution. So Rousseau proclaimed that men are bestowed with inalienable rights of liberty, equality, and fraternity. And these concepts became the basis for the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen. And this is the base. Means these three things, these three values are the basis for French Declaration of Rights of Man and of the citizen. So again, next philosopher and thinker is that which belong to America. Hmm? So this American revolutionary thinker developed the doctrine of natural rights without linking it to the social contract theory. Okay, so this social contract theory we may again discuss, or we may have this reference in next video lecture. We may study in next video lecture what is this social contract theory and what is its influence on the development of human rights. But right now Paine says here, and who is an American thinker, he developed the doctrine of natural rights without linking it to the social contract theory. He held that rights are natural because they were bestowed upon man by God Himself. He says that rights are natural, and in that sense, why those rights are natural? Because these particular natural rights are given by God himself. So there is no any interference of any political party or political government. So these rights exist independently of the legal code of any country. Means these rights, although it has taken several forms in different constitutions of different countries, it has no legal code of any country, because it is more than that. These are the independent rights because they are natural and which is given by God himself. So these are the several things we have studied in this current video. So we have observed what is the origin of human rights. Again, we observed what is the natural rights theory and who are the proponents of this theory. These are the three thinkers: Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Even they have mentioned the core or the doctrine of that natural rights theory in different books, which is written by these three thinkers, and those names are see here: two treatises government written by John Locke, then Thomas Hobbes written Leviathan, and here Rousseau has written celebrated the book The Social Contract. Okay, so these are the several thinkers who gave impetus to the basic human values, which is transformed afterward as their human rights. Okay, so the core of their doctrine is that liberty, equality, and fraternity, which we right now enjoying in the form of constitution, or in the form of fundamental rights and fundamental duties. We may study afterward these things. Okay, so thank you so much.